if you haven't been paying attention, if you've been under a rock somewhere, Kendrick Lamar on a feature for Metro Boomin and Future, like that. He drops a diss record talking about Drake, and more so, he was firing on Drake. He had a couple of pew pews at J. Cole. The entire the entire hip hop community was waiting to see what the response would be from Drake and Cole. Cole last week drops a record, 7-minute drill, where he takes shots at Kendrick. Jabs. I think Kendrick jabbed at Cole. Cole jabbed back, nothing crazy. And Dreamville was this weekend, so this past weekend, and at Dreamville, he apologized for shooting at Kendrick. Said, he couldn't sleep. He felt sick about what he had done. He wanted, I don't know if the verse has been removed from, or the song has been removed from streaming. He said he wanted the song removed from streaming, and it has caused a lot of interesting reaction to those in hip hop. So I'm going to start with you. I'm going to give you the ISO, and you tell me, like, what were your thoughts when you found out that Cole had retracted his diss and he was said, "Hey, stop the violence. I'm a man of peace." What do you think?
Boo! That's what you think. Are you serious, my guy? Like, first of all, it's not even that deep. You guys didn't even like we come from an era of the Jay-Z and Nas, I'm talking like straight disrespectful diss tracks. Like this, what y'all did was like a little almost indirect, subtle, jab back and forth. And you know what that reminds me of? I think J. Cole's got to be a vegan. He must just be a vegan. That's just what it is. That was the most that was the most like it's upset his stomach. What was it? Chicken broth like in your soup or something? like you couldn't sleep at night because you were thinking about how you said he was overrated. Like, bro, what? Like, come on, man. Like, I didn't like it at all. I thought it was super, super silly. Now, one thing you can never tell a man is like to not, if something doesn't sit well with their spirit or their soul, and not go out and say something. But my goodness, if Dreamville wasn't this weekend, how would he have apologized? Like, I'm kind of curious as to that. But yeah, I thought it was super, super lame, super like people say, oh, but he apologized. He really felt like he apologized for what? There was no apology needed. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even say anything crazy. It's not like he said the dude's address or called out his mom or anything like that. Like, to come back a few days later and apologize after, bro, you sat there and recorded it. You wrote it. You recorded it. You know what I mean? Like, we're battle rappers. We write, we rehearse, we record, and then you want to come back and say, I'm sorry? You had so many times to be sorry. So many times. You were probably punched in on the song and didn't say sorry. You know what I mean? I didn't like it at all. And I thought it was just like, especially while you're dropping what is a mixtape or an album. I don't even know what these days, same thing.
Essentially a mixtape.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, that's really smart. Like you could have just, you could have bowed out after this and just not said anything, and everything would have been fine. It would be like, oh, J. Cole got his little jabs off, but he's not really about that battle life. But now people talking about, I'm deleting your catalog. I'm not listening to the album. I don't even want to hear J. Cole's, fall off or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you literally created a situation for what? Because you got your stomach upset because there must have been some chicken broth in your soup and you're vegan. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Man, where do I begin? Where do I begin? So we just talked about WrestleMania. J. Cole, did you ever watch WrestleMania? You ever watch wrestling growing up? I mean, you're from the South, so I have to assume that you watch wrestling or wrestling, however you want to define it, right? Yeah, are you J. Cole, have you heard of the term shooting in wrestling, or a shoot in wrestling, right? It's where it's an unplanned, unscripted, real life occurrence within wrestling, right? So sometimes you throw that punch, you actually clock him. Seth Rollins, right? He got a black eye because one of those claymores from Drew McIntyre connected for real, right? So, unintended consequences. this from Kendrick was an unintended consequence. You were collateral damage because he's really shooting at Drake, right? He's at Drake, and he's like pow 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 at you. Yeah. You came back and pow 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 back. Good, right? You cannot sit on these records and say, if Jesus asked for a feature, I'm going to hell. You cannot sit on these records and say, I am the best rapper alive, that I'm the best in the game. And if you test me, if you try me, I'm going to flame you. If you say that you have the crown, what comes with that crown are challengers, right? This is what comes with that. And the fact that you do all this boasting and bragging about how you the top dog, pardon the pun, how you're the best in the game. And the first time one of your peers, right? Because not just anybody can shoot at you. One of your peers, which you said were in the big three, said, bump the big three. It's just Big Me. Excuse me. And the fact that he talked about, oh man, about you walking with this stick. There's a line in First Person Shooter with Cole and Drake where he talks about he's got a stick, and he's I forget the reference that Kendrick made, but he basically says that he called it Andre 3000's flute. Like, that's the stick you're walking with. You're not walking with a gun. You got this flute. Like, again, nothing crazy. And you came out here and you say this.
Crazier now that he apologized. Now it's like, damn, he knew something about you.
like this is what comes with carrying that crown. And so for me going forward, listen, I'm not going as far to say I'm not going to listen to J. Cole's catalog, or I made the joke about deleting his entire catalog out of my library. I did make that joke, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to listen to the Fall Off when it drops. I'm going to keep listening to Born Center and Forest Hills Drive, the Fall Off, all these albums. I'm going to continue listening. But I don't want to ever hear again about how lyrically you were better, because one of your peers invited you to prove that. And you sent, again, soft jabs. Not even, again, like you said, this wasn't Ether. It wasn't Takeover. It wasn't Hit 'Em Up.
It wasn't Hit 'Em Up.
It wasn't even Drake's Duppy freestyle. Like, it wasn't Charged Up.
It wasn't Back to Back. It wasn't
nothing of the sort. Name the record, the diss record. It wasn't anything close. Just a nice little opener, right, to prepare us for what was to come. And the fact that you said, oh, you can get your diss back on the house, like you get one for free. Man, if I was Kendrick, I was straight. I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z.
Nope.
Dragon Ball Z, there's just like one of the most devastating moves is when Goku gets a spirit bomb. Like, he's summoning the entire energy of the earth, the old spirits. Listen, I'm not an anime guy, so don't crucify me here, Dragon Ball people. But he is summoning every ounce of energy he has to destroy you. If I'm Kendrick and you said, oh, I get a free shot, oh, I'm not taking jabs on this one. I am about to bomb on you. I'm about to go crazy, because you essentially stood up there and went Tory Doe and said, round. I am about to bomb on you. Like, listen, J. Cole, I don't know if you ever watched battle rap. Let me let you in on a little secret here. Come closer. Come closer. Get close to the screen. These guys are friends in real life. They don't really hate each other. They just talk crazy to each other because they get paid really well to do it. Like, there are very few people in battle rap who dislike each other. We watched Chilla Jones and Real Deal go crazy against each other for 2 battles at King of the Dot. One of the best.
That was their third time battling too.
Third time for the chain, twice. 2 highly debatable, highly competitive back and forth between friends. I have no idea what it was like after the fact, right? Like, I don't know if maybe they had to take a couple of weeks off because look, you want your competitors, right? You want to win. But again, after a while, they came back. They were able to talk to each other, have a good time, all this good stuff, right? I even think about you and me. We played rec league ball, right? Yeah. Church league ball. We had one of the best games in church rec league history of that league, right? Double overtime. We both had opportunities to win the game, right? And great back and forth. Your team prevails at the end. great game. I am hot. I'm mad we lost this game. And at the end, you go, yo, before we go, man, let's just pray. And I'm like, in my mind, pray? Pray? Like, let me tell you what was on my mind when you said that. This was on my mind when you said that. I ain't trying to hear about no prayer right now. Cuz, you kidding me? You for real right now? You talking about some prayer?
Score? Is he gonna change the score? Well, if not.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? and so, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you can have good competition with your guy. If Kendrick is still your guy, that's your man, that's cool. Right? If you don't want to pick a side, if you feel like you're caught in the middle between Drake and Kendrick, and you don't want to you want to get out the crossfire, that's fine. But dog, you gotta stand on what you say. Like Young Bleed said, all I got is what? My balls and my word. Mm-hmm. You gotta stand on what you say, man. And I don't know. I don't know is this 20 to 30 years ago, this would be career ending.
I'd be curious to know if he talked this through with anybody. Or if he was just up there in the moment on Dreamville stage and was like, Streams was there, by the way, live. Shout out to Streams. He was at Dreamville that weekend, watching it all happen. But it's like, you were up on stage or whatever, because I can't imagine that he was like, yo, Drake, y'all finna apologize tomorrow. You know what I mean? And Drake was like, yo, wait, what? You know what I mean? Or if he was like, his agents or the label or whatever, like, hey, by the way,
Well, he said his homies. No, he did talk. He did say he was going to do it because his homies was like, I can hear him off stage saying, "Don't do it, don't do it." So they knew he was going to do it. And my thing is just if you felt that way, like you said,
listen to
you felt that way when you punched in.
Homies. I got a friend of mine. We were at a house party one night. It was a Halloween house party, and I had noticed he was like vibing, like feeling this girl one time, right? Like he was like, yo, I like her. I'm gonna holler at her. But I also knew that girl it was not reciprocated. You know what I mean? And so he's telling me, boom, boom, boom. And I'm just like chilling at the party. You know what I mean? We kicking it or whatever. And so she leaves to go to her car, and I remember there's like, about 12 steps. You got to go down in the apartment complex, go out the door, and go out the next door, whatever. She's going to her car, and I see a look in his eyes. And he's making his way to the door to follow her to the car. And I just remember saying, don't do it, Vince. Don't do it like that. And I remember that we still to this day yell out, don't do it, Vince. And that's my dog. That's my dog. But sometimes you got to tell your mans, don't do it. Sometimes the homies know best.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All I say is this. To me, what Cole talking about, well, it didn't sit right with me tearing down this man's catalog. But I'm like, okay, are you about to become a Christian rapper then? Because are you no longer going to tear? Are you about to join the Horsemen? Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you say I want to be down with the crew, I'm pretty sure they have no problem putting you on the express lane to join the crew.
We're gonna put everything under a microscope from here on out. Oh, you said this on Fallout, so that sat well with you. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, bro, I'm listening to this EP. Excuse me. And you're calling women out of their name.
Yeah.
You're talking about y'all ain't got no money like that on Johnny P's Caddy. You talking about, these drug dealers fabricating these stories, and they think you as hard as you are because they're like, where do we draw the line here, Jay? So I don't know, man. Like
somehow you made Daylight the realest person on that song. Somehow you managed to make Daylight the realest person on this song.
Yo, listen. I anticipate what happens next. Allegedly, Drake is supposed to drop tonight.
Allegedly, yep. We'll see.
So we'll see. And I'm this is all speculation and conjecture, but apparently it's supposed to be like a bomb. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Let me know what y'all think. Like, let me say this last thing. All of y'all talking about, I applaud his maturity. He did the right thing. No, he did not do the right thing. The right thing was not to reply.
He didn't do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like,
the right thing was not to respond at all. If you felt that way, he didn't really shoot at you for real. You didn't have to say anything. You could have just let him and Drake fight it out. That's number one. And excuse me, but yeah, I'm not saying that maturity is not a good thing, but like you said, this wasn't some crazy record where Kendrick went crazy on his family and calling people out their name. He didn't do the same. just don't respond, bro. But let us know what y'all think, man. How y'all call it? What do you think about Kendrick? What Kendrick's verse? What do you think about Cole and his response and him apologizing? I'm gonna say this after coming out the door. I don't think To Pimp a Butterfly is. How should I phrase this? I do think that fans have overhyped it. I think it's a great album. I do think it's a little bit overhyped. To me, it's at the back end of Kendrick's discography. I'm a Good Kid, Mad City guy, Section 80 guy, Damn guy, and then Big Stepper and To Pimp a Butterfly are at the back end of his solo catalog for me. I have more thoughts on Kendrick. Oh boy.
Yikes.
This is Austin. Listen, this is Austin Lawrence.
I'm not a Kendrick fan. I'm not a Kendrick fan. I don't listen to a lot of Kendrick, but Damn and Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly to me are like 3 albums that I could listen to. I actually haven't listened to Big Stepper or the other one, so because I'm just not a Kendrick guy.
Austin Lawrence says Kendrick only has one good album. Austin, I would love to know what that one good album is. I think you're wrong, by the way. I think Section 80, Good Kid, Damn, and To Pimp a Butterfly are fire. I also think that Big Stepper is fire. It's a really dense album. He's talking about a lot of heavy things. His infidelity issues, transgenderism, sexual assault. Like he's talking about a lot, daddy issues. It's deep, it's heavy. And so like I feel like even with To Pimp a Butterfly, like it gets a little heavy at times. And so it's like one of those things where like I'm not clamoring to listen to that because I like my life. I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. I don't do recreational sadness unless you make it bang. So like Kanye's 808 Heartbreaks. Listen, you might catch me in traffic at the top of my voice. You know, I don't want no RoboCop. You move like, bro, like I'll sing Bad News. See you in my nightmares. What? Like I know Wayne verse by heart. Like,
yeah.
Excuse me. Good Kid, Mad City is the only album that Austin. Listen, I would say go listen to Section 80. Section 80's fire. To me, Damn is a record that he got so much backlash for how artsy fartsy good that To Pimp a Butterfly was. And he was like, "Oh, you want an album full of bangers? I can give you an album full of bangers." So anyway, I can keep going on Kendrick, but let's move on to some other topics. So let's jump real quick into the world of